look at this crafting table. It's a block that tells us we can create almost everything within a 3x3 grid. Have you ever wondered or pondered for just a moment though to think that it might be unreasonable, that it could be flawed and perhaps is entirely outside of this world in terms of logic or reason? Well, that sounds like silly talk until I show you this recipe for a helmet, right? It's a nice iron helmet you're gonna craft, except wrong. I showed you the crafting table upside down. This is the recipe for an iron minecart. These are entirely different items that you could never mix up, except the only logical way to look at it is to say that there is clearly some alien technology going on. That's right, hello MIBX Toycat, and today I'm going to be convincing you why one of the staple Minecraft blocks is actually alien technology, and you're going to agree with me by the end of this video. With that said, let's explain some of the oddities of the crafting table, such as... The minecart and the iron helmet are the funniest examples because although you can say, yeah, they're just the same recipe but flipped, you can also say that all it takes is moving one iron ingot, one place on the crafting table, and all of a sudden you get something entirely different. Except clearly they're not entirely different. Minecraft is saying these two things are so similar, and so either we're putting minecarts on our heads or we're riding helmets. Which is it, I would like to know? If this is true though, does that mean that we can put boats on our head? I mean, clearly, if you just put the wood in a different recipe, then you should have a wooden helmet. And if that's true, what does it mean for all of the other helmet types? Are all the other helmet types just different types of minecarts we haven't accessed yet? I think this is actually a really useful example to show that, yeah, Minecraft has created a lot of recipes over time, and without fully thinking about it, some of those recipes have overlapped, because this exact same thing has happened with the cauldron and the iron trousers. You could say, looking at this, that these are such different items, they shouldn't be crafted from the same ingredients, but instead, I'm going to assume that Minecraft works as intended, and I'm going to let you know about one of the biggest bugs I've ever found, which is that we can't wear cauldrons. I mean, imagine how useful a wearable cauldron would be. You'd be able to walk around immune from fire damage because you'd have some water in there, or you could do one better. Instead of having to constantly re-up on potions, you fill your legging cauldrons with the potion, and then the potion is always seeping into your bloodstream, and you'd have permanent night vision, you'd have permanent speed, permanent regeneration. I'm just saying that the cauldron trousers idea might be a really great idea. In fact, go a step further. What if we think about the iron trousers as effectively being a cauldron? Why is it that when it rains in Minecraft, they don't fill up? Surely what should happen is they should get filled slowly with water until you can use an iron bucket on yourself to grab the water from your trousers. Or perhaps, because that doesn't, you can't really see your own trousers in Minecraft, perhaps you could use a water bucket on another player, or a bucket to get the water out of them. Maybe we could then use the opposite, and then when it's dry, we could put buckets inside of their trousers, and then, hear me out, we could put frogs in there. But I think maybe the bigger question is why, if there's such similar items crafted in the same way from the same ingredients, there is no situation where you can craft either a cauldron or iron leggings. You can always get one or the other. If that's true, why do iron leggings have durability while a cauldron does not? Why can a cauldron last for an infinite amount of time, but iron leggings only last for this many hits? I don't know what that number is. It's from the Minecraft wiki, but it's like 200 something, right? Why can the leggings only withstand that many hits, but you can fire arrows at your cauldron all day long? It makes no sense whatsoever, unless, maybe there's some greater force at play here. Speaking of greater forces, the cobblestone slab and the stone pickaxe. I mean, you look at these two recipes side by side, and the only difference is adding 2 sticks to these 3 cobblestones will get you either 6 slabs, that's 3 blocks worth of material by the way, or it will get you a stone pickaxe, which is significantly less than 1 slab. Where does the extra stone go? I think there's only one logical explanation. The Minecraft crafting table throws away a ton of excess materials, and in that case, why can't we use slabs to make our pickaxes? But the more serious answer here is that clearly the sticks in the table are magically transforming the size of the table's output. Either that, or a pickaxe is much thicker than it shows in Minecraft, and we should actually have these extra thick picks, which could maybe extend durability. I mean, that makes total sense. Also, think about Minecraft in real life. If you added sticks to your problems, all of them would shrink away. Like, oh yeah, I've got this mug, except I add a couple sticks to it and it shrinks down. Wait, can we do that in green screen? It shrinks down. Oh, it's like I'm holding a little tiny mug right now. Wow, IBX Toycat mugs available at store.ibxtoycat. Wait, ibxtoycat.store. Buy them now. I like money. I use it to buy things. Unlike crafting tables, which are mystical and can't be bought with real money. Even from a wandering trader. You might have noticed both of these recipes are the same. We just rotate it 90 degrees and magically you're getting something else. However, what's also weird is that you get 3 iron doors from 6 ingots versus 16 iron bars. How does this add up? What is the maths there supposed to be like? I mean, if you put 2 iron bars next to each other with a block on either side. Side note, actually, how is it that iron bars magically grow longer when there's a block on either side? That makes things even more confusing. What do you do with the rest of the iron bar if you place it down not next to something? But if we place all of these down together, it doesn't look like an equal exchange at all, in my opinion. In fact, if we look back at everything we've said so far, iron is the most inconsistent logic that a crafting table has. We can just about understand everything else with our brains and putting it together, but because iron is so useful, it makes everything from hoppers to minecarts to pickaxe that you use to mine diamonds. I mean, the fact that 1 ingot makes 9 of these tiny little nuggets that are basically no size, while 9 of these ingots is enough to make a full block, which is about 1,000 kilograms. I think it's heavier than 1,000 kilograms. It's a huge weight. It's a ton plus. Hey, what is 1 M3 cube of iron weight? According to coolconversion.com, a single cubic meter of iron weighs 7,850 kilograms, which in tons, but with an E, is 7.85 tons. There's 7.85 tons of weight here, and all you get is 81 of these tiny little nuggets. How much does each of those nuggets weigh? A significant part of like almost a tenth of a ton each. There's a lot of loss, but also there can't be any loss because that recipe proves that you can craft it infinitely back and forth from blocks to nuggets, from nuggets to blocks. And I'm just saying, if you're trying to think about the crafting table as a logical block, it can only be alien technology. You put blocks in there, and as a character, magically seconds later, with no crafting or soaring or anything needed, you just magically get what you want out. And these aliens clearly know what they're doing, because if we, go and look at the crafting table again, it has 9 slots on it. It physically has the 9 slots. It wouldn't need the 9 slots if it was a real, if this was a real workbench, you don't place little slots on there. Have you ever seen one in real life? They don't have random places to place items, but that's how Steve does things on the crafting table. Sounds far-fetched, but have you seen Minecraft story mode? You'll see when they craft in that game, they physically place it and it magically appears out of nowhere. I mean, Minecraft is a magic-esque universe, clearly, and if that's not enough proof, look at the shape of buckets. I mean, there are 3, I'd argue there's 4 types of buckets Minecraft has. There is the wooden bucket, the bowl. You craft 3 of these together, you get 4 bowls. You have the iron bucket, which you can craft using 3 of these, and you get 1 bucket, which is kind of strange, that you get 1 bucket this size when a cauldron is like, let's not think about that. But if you use glass blocks, you'll get 3 glass bottles, even though if you think about the size of a glass bottle compared to a bowl, you should get 4 glass bottles and 3 bowls if there was gonna be one way or the other. Not that it makes any sense that the same recipe is giving us different amounts, but then if we use bricks to make the smallest one yet, a tiny little flower pot, it takes 3 bricks to make 1 flower pot. What is happening here? If you put 3 of something in the crafting table to make a holding device, you have no idea how much you're gonna get back. It's gonna vary entirely based on your materials, material, I'm starting to think the crafting table is greedy. I'm starting to think the crafting table has preferences for blocks that it prefers over others. I mean, it's really generous with wood recipes. It's really stingy with certain other recipes. I think from here it's clear that we need to mention that Mojang has a little bit of issue with consistency. All 4 of these crafting recipes came in at different times. However, if we're gonna say that actually no, these are perfectly balanced because the bucket is the biggest of the 4. I would say that's pretty definitive, so of course you only get 1 bucket, but if the bucket is the biggest, why is it that the bucket is the only one that can stack up to 16? I don't understand that in the slightest. The bowl doesn't make sense here because everything else makes 1 or 3 items, and so 4? What's it doing at that number? I think that you could definitely make the argument that now, of all the times, especially we have more greenery than ever, they should buff the amount of flower pots you get for a single craft. I think, given that buckets are more useful now than ever, people are using them for all sorts of things. There's 11 unique bucket types in Minecraft. Maybe we should get 3 buckets or 2 buckets, or maybe we should level out all of these. And ultimately, what is the bowl even doing? I've got another recipe I'd like to talk about. It's the sign and the banner. Have you ever seen the recipe for the sign? You use 6 planks, 1 stick, and you get 3 signs. It's very nice. Have you ever seen the recipe for the banner? You use 1 stick, and you use 6 wool, and you get 1 banner. This doesn't make any sense at all, actually. Why does it take 6 wool to make a single banner? I mean, if you place 6 wool down normally, you get something that's much bigger than a banner in every dimension. You get wider, thicker, taller, deeper. Every dimension, it's different. Also, here's the other thing. A stick, which is, by the way, it's one of these tiny things that makes up half of a pickaxe. How is it that 1 stick on a banner makes up this? Have you ever seen the size of the stick on the banner? Also, there's that little wooden line at the top. Where does that come from? Is that the same stick making that? And if that's true, how is it that the stick is only making 3 of these little nubs on a sign? I don't understand the inconsistency we're getting here from Minecraft. In fact, the biggest inconsistency on the same level is slabs and snow. Have you ever seen the way that you turn snow into snow layers? It's the slab recipe, except instead of getting way more snow because you're taking 3 giant blocks, you get 6 snow bits, which is, if I'm not mistaken, 3/4 of a snow block. How is it that cutting down slabs, these giant stone things, which clearly requires specialized tools, right? I mean, Minecraft even says you can't break cobblestone with your fist. You need a special tool if you want to do it. How is it breaking down 3 of these blocks gets you 6 perfectly cut slabs, but cutting down 3 snow blocks gets you 3/4 of a real block versus 3? You get 1/4 as much, despite the fact that snow should be easy to cut in half. You just, a little karate chop, or use that saw that we know we have. I'm just saying, it's not an equal exchange. The crafting table clearly isn't fair. And I think we should at this point just acknowledge the clear thing here, that all of these things that we can explain by aliens and magic clearly come down to, at some point, the fact that developers actually just developed Minecraft over a very long time. Lots of different people have touched the Minecraft code, lots of people have added a recipe to the game, and each of those people has slightly different priorities, but even if they didn't, it's hard to make a perfect one-to-one thing. Why is it that it takes 3 stone to make a pickaxe and 3 stone to make an axe? It's not perfectly equal, we do understand that, but then when you start to add more recipes, it is hard to make a perfect equivalence. I mean, if you think about the size of an ingot, 9 of those shouldn't be possible to make a block. You should need to have 50, 60, 100, hundreds even, but having 100 iron ingots be required to make a block, that wouldn't be a fun recipe to make, and so someone at some point just decided, you know what, suspend your disbelief and it will be fun. Someone at some point decided the balance of the game, the gameplay is better than going for the realism. And I think that actually is almost certainly what's happened. Time and time again, they've decided that as long as you can suspend your disbelief, as long as it's easy to do so and it's not that far-fetched, that yeah, we can have it so that snow layers are much harder to get than cobblestone slabs. We can make the recipe for the banner involve 1 stick, even though it clearly needs far more than that, because the recipe for actually incorporating that top stick, the recipe that would involve having 2 sticks in there, would make the banner look very, very strange. I mean, would it be surrounding the stick? Actually, no, 2 sticks makes the banner look better. But if you look at every other recipe, you can see why they've gone for what they've gone for. It's meant to be a pictographic representation of what you make. However, With that said, clearly that's not aliens, right? A developer deciding to make Minecraft better is not just aliens. However, if you're thinking about what we do here on this channel and what everyone is doing when they play Minecraft, you don't just beat the Ender Dragon and go, I have defeated the thing the developers have decided would be enjoyable for me so that I can have an achievement that will give me 35 gamer score, or whatever it actually is. You don't say that yourself. You say, whoa, I beat the dragon. The last of her species. I drove her extinct. Because all of those things are technically true. And so if we're gonna be giving in-universe explanations for things that we clearly know were decided out of universe, I think the only way that you can come down on this, based on what we've seen in Minecraft story mode, based on the fact that it doesn't follow logic in any consistent way, based on the fact that it happens instantly and requires no tools besides these three things, which you never seem to pick up, by the way. If you watch someone craft in a third person, none of those tools ever appear, and what you can conclude is clearly there are aliens which are watching you, which when you place down the crafting table, you're summoning them to watch your world, and they take away your 5 iron, and depending on which direction they're looking at, they'll give you a bucket, or they'll give you a minecart, also known as a person bucket, or they'll give you a helmet. I think that's the only way to explain this in universe, and so logically speaking, the crafting table is Minecraft's most powerful block if you use the in-game explanation. I think that, yeah, I think in reality, when you dive into anything too much, you start to question like, well, why does this exist at all? Why does why is it that we live in a world where you go out to work for 40 hours a week? How is it that everyone's job is 40 hours? It's not like every job requires exactly 40 hours from you, or the standard job, we should say. No, there are lots of prototypical things in society which we build around the fact that people have built them like that before. Minecraft is the same. The fact that this YouTube video has an outro where I'm going to recommend that you subscribe and maybe go to ibxtoycat.store, it's exactly the same. It's all built on the same concept, and if you enjoy those same concepts, I hope you subscribe and go to ibxtoycat.store where you can give me money to take away your existential dread, because we'll all die someday. This is a real mug. I love it. This is my favorite thing I've ever made, and you can buy one right now. But I'll see you next time. Goodbye.